Trinidad and Tobago's National Security Minister vindicated in a U.S. civil suit. And in sport, Bermudan triathlete wins first gold medal in the Commonwealth Games. I'm Ricardo Roberts and this is Caribbean in 10 for Thursday, April 5th. I'll be back with the details after the break.
The event is just a drill, but in the event that it is real, Tobago now has 28 emergency responders who are certified and well-trained in light-level urban search and rescue. This means that when buildings collapse and victims lie injured on the rubble, their lives can be saved due to the newly acquired skills of technicians.
Where did you job for today?
We there right here. Every year from now on, we there right here. Uber Soca Cruise. Not miss us ever again.
Tell me something, what's your name?
My name is Terrence Charles, aka Mr. C4, aka representing the C4 Promotions family. Don't know.
Is this your first Uber Soca Cruise?
First and not the last. Trust me, brother. Next year, I done book already, you know.
You done book already?
I book, they didn't even open booking yet, but I book already.
A judge in the United States has found no wrongdoing by Trinidad and Tobago's National Security Minister Edmund Dillon, who had been accused of elder financial abuse, exploitation and fraud. Dillon had been traveling to the U.S. to attend court hearings for the past 7 months with U.S. civil court documents alleging that he attempted to defraud an elderly incapacitated man, Neville Piper, of his money and his Manhattan, New York condo last year. Yesterday, the judge in the case ordered that the matter be sealed after she lamented the negative publicity. We get more in this TV6 News report.
Court official told TV6 News as far as he knew the matter had concluded. Legal sources confirmed that both parties had reached an out-of-court settlement, and this was effectually why they met with Judge Vestacion. In a statement released by National Security Minister Edmund Dillon, he said the matter with his friend Neville Piper had been resolved. Dillon said the matter was heard behind closed doors and that Judge Vestacion ordered that the record of the proceeding be sealed and restricted and all parties not to make public statements on the matter, and stressed there was no finding of wrongdoing against Minister Dillon. Dillon emerged from the court flanked by a relative, friends and his attorney. Dillon didn't comment on the case, but seemed a bit perturbed as he left.
Hide from me because you're going to just put it that you're hiding from me.
Mr. Dillon, I'm not doing that. Dillon had earlier told this journalist in the courtroom that he did not want pictures of his family and said this was only about him. He even said that he was alive and thankful. Neville Piper's niece Esther Nichols left the court a few minutes later and had little to say about what transpired.
I have no proof.
Nichols had alleged in court documents filed a few months ago that her uncle had been the victim of elder financial abuse, exploitation and fraud.
That report from TV6's Mark Bassant. Dominica's Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit intends to have talks with a former opposition legislator who quit his party over what he said was its unwillingness to move on from the politics of anti-nationalism. Now, yesterday, MP for Roseau Central, Joseph Isaac, announced his resignation from the United Workers' Party and his decision to sit in Parliament as an independent member. And Skerrit said in a statement last night that he was heartened and inspired by the tone and tenor of Isaac's announcement. He said Isaac's words and actions showed that some people in the country were finally coming around to a realization that a divided Dominica, especially at the national leadership level, will not progress at the required pace.
I note Mr. Isaac's preference at this time to sit as an independent member in Parliament. This is significant. The government, which I have the honor to lead, welcomes this magnanimous gesture, and I intend, as the leader of the government, to request a meeting with Mr. Isaac at the earliest convenience to discuss and determine a framework by which we can work together in the interest of Dominica and to the benefit of the constituents of Roseau Central.
The two main parties in Guyana's Partnership for National Unity, the APNU, government says they will contest local government elections in November as a single entity. Chairman of the Alliance for Change, Kemraj Ramjatan, said that while his party and the People's National Congress have had their disagreements since coming together to contest the 2015 general elections, those differences have been resolved. And he said yesterday that they now have to thrash out some issues related to candidacy and other matters as they prepare for local government elections later this year. Stay with us. Your Midday Sport is next. Bermuda's Flora Duffy powered away in the final run leg to win the women's triathlon on the opening morning of competition at the 2018 Commonwealth Games in the Gold Coast, Australia. The world #1 women's triathlete entered the contest as the raging hot favourite and lived up to her billing, beating England's Jessica Learmonth and Canadian Joanna Brown for the gold medal. The 30-year-old two-time world champion hadn't won a medal in 2 previous trips to a Commonwealth Games or her 3 starts at an Olympics, and she was determined to put things right this time. Duffy went stroke for stroke with Learmonth in the ocean swim and pedal for pedal in the bike race over the first 2 legs, but she produced the 3rd quickest time over the 5-kilometer run leg to put distance between herself and the English woman to clinch the gold title. And Barbados retained the regional under-15 title yesterday after an impressive 98 from Movendra Dindyal failed to inspire Guyana, who lost by 4 wickets in the deciding match. Chasing 207 for victory, the Barbadians reached the target with 14 balls remaining at the Kensington Cricket Ground in the final round of matches. MVP Jayden Leacock hit the club score of 47 and shared successive half-century stands at the top of the order with fellow opener Jacob Bethel, who retired ill on 20, and Neymar Bolden with 42 to put the Barbadians on track for victory. Earlier, Dindyal was the rock upon which Guyana built their total 206 for 9 in 50 overs after they chose to bat in the top-of-the-table decider. The Barbadians completed the tournament with 26.2 points, 1.7 more than the Guyanese. In the other matches, Windward Islands finished in 4th position, even though they toppled 3rd-place host Jamaica by 5 wickets at Sabina Park, and a similar fate befell Leeward Islands as they finished at the bottom of the table, although they edged Trinidad and Tobago by 5 runs at Melbourne Oval. That's Caribbean in 10. Join us again at 6:30 for Caribbean Newsline. Good afternoon.